Question 6. Chile is an importer of computer chips. Taking the world price of $12 per chip as given, suppose Chile imposes a $7 tariff on chips. Which of the following outcomes is possible? So the total price then, so the new price is equal to 12 plus the $7 per chip, so that's equal to 19. Okay. If the price in Chile would be less than 19, if price of Chile domestically without trade is less than 19, then they don't trade. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we look at these answers. The price of chips in Chile increases to 19, possible. The quantity of Chilean produced chips decreases, also possible. If, no, not possible, because quantity is always going to increase when we put a tariff on in terms of the domestic production. So A is not right. Price of chips increases to 16. It's possible if we've now priced out the rest of the world from the Chilean market. Quantity of Chilean chips increases. Yep. The quantity of chips imported by Chile decreases. So then this is possible if we've increased. Okay. C, the price of chips in Chile increases to 19. The quantity of Chilean chips increases and the quantity of chips imported by Chile decreases. All of those are also possible. D, the price of chips in Chile increases to 16. The quantity of Chilean produced chips increases. The quantity of chips imported by Chile does not change. That cannot be the case. So then B or C could possibly be answers here. The correct answer is C, because we're going to go ahead and assume that the price is going to go all the way up to 19. Because if the price were at 16, then the quantity of chips imported by Chile would also decrease. It would just decrease to 0. Well, that's a mistake. I'll have to fix that. 7. Consider a small town with only 3 families: the Green family, the Brown family, and the Black family. The town does not currently have any streetlights, so it is very dark at night. The 3 families are considering putting in streetlights on Main Street and are trying to determine how many lights to install. The table below shows each family's willingness to pay for each streetlight. Suppose the cost to install each streetlight is $900 and the family have agreed to split the cost of the streetlights equally. If the families vote to determine the number of streetlights to install, basing their decision solely on their own willingness to pay. So this is their own willingness to pay. What is the greatest number of streetlights which the majority of families would vote yes? Okay, well, how much are they going to pay per streetlight? It costs $900. They're going to divide that equally between the 3 of them, so they're going to pay $300 for each streetlight. So then we just need to find all of the values on this graph that are greater than 300. So they'll all vote yes for the first streetlight. Check. They'll all vote yes for the second streetlight, and they'll all vote yes for the third streetlight. Or I apologize, only the Brown family votes yes. Only the Green family does not vote yes for the second streetlight, and only the Black family votes yes for the third streetlight. So in this case, using only their own willingness, they're going to go ahead and do 1 streetlight. If I were to change this question a little, I could say, what is the socially optimal number of streetlights? Well, here we're going to look at total benefit. So for socially optimal, we need to sum all of these guys together. So then that's going to give us 1,240 for the first one. The second one is going to be 780, 940. And the third one is going to be 660. So then the socially optimal, they're not going to go ahead and build the third one, but the socially optimal number of streetlights is going to be equal to 2 because the total value to the citizens is greater than 900 for those first two. Question 8. When a country allows trade and becomes an importer of bottled water, which of the following is not a consequence? The gains of domestic consumers of bottled water exceed the losses. Check, that is true. So then that can't be right. The losses of domestic producers of bottled water exceed the gains of domestic consumers of bottled water. Well, that's not the case. We just said the other one is fine, so then B must be the correct answer because that is not a consequence of trade. Price paid by consumers decreases, good. Price received by domestic producers decreases, good. So then our answer is going to be B. Question 9. The figure applies to the nation of Wales and the good is cheese. Which of the following is a valid equation for the gains from trade? Again, the gains from trade is just this area right here, this little triangle. It's always the triangle outside of the total surplus otherwise. So then that's going to be 1/2 base times height. So then what we're going to need to do is we're going to go 1/2 the difference in these guys, so P1 minus P0, times the height of this, which is just Q2 minus Q1. Question 10. Following diagram shows the domestic demand and supply in a market. Assume that the world price in this market is $20 per unit. Yikes. World price. Suppose the government imports a tariff of $10 per unit. The deadweight loss caused by the tariff is. So then that's the world price there. We're going to go ahead and put in the world price plus tariff up here. The deadweight loss caused by the tariff is. So then now we need to figure out what the deadweight loss is, and it's the money that is no longer going to any surplus. Now remember, consumers and producers get surplus, but we also include government revenue into surplus. So then going down here, we know that this little box right here is our new government revenue from the tariff. So then the losses are going to be this blue area, that's deadweight loss, and then this is deadweight loss. Okay. That's going to be 5 and 5. The height of each of them is 10. So in this case, those two areas happen to be the same because the supply and demand are both the same slope. There's no reason why they would have to necessarily be the same. So then we can do 1/2 times 10 times 5, which is equal to 25. And then we want to add on the other one, which is 1/2 times 10 times 5, which is equal to 25. Our total deadweight loss is going to be 50B.